Good morning, Deerfield. I hope and welcome to the Fall Athletic Convocation. It was only 3 weeks ago when our volleyball, field hockey, and football teams were getting ready for their postseason games, and we were still smiling from our successful Choate Day. Since then, final exams have come and gone, a snowy return from Thanksgiving break, and we are here for just 15 more days before we break again as we get the winter term up and running. But before we begin with the presentation of awards, let's review some of the highlights from the fall and talk for just a bit on keeping the good happening with our teams going heading into the new winter season. But first, I have an announcement to make. On Monday, I found out that we have someone who is celebrating an anniversary here, someone who's worked here for 46 years. Norm, stand up. The labor laws were a little different back then. Norm started working when he was 10 years old. I think the thing that stood out the most for me this fall was the overall successes that our teams had on those consecutive rivalry weekends we had every fall. Starting with St. Paul's, then Loomis, then Exeter, Andover, and finally Choate. We came away with some extraordinary results with our teams. For me, better yet, was the feeling I felt, as I hope you did too, of community and school pride. I have to say that this doesn't come from just a bunch of wins against rival schools. It's much bigger than that. I enjoyed the fall season so much because of our positive team culture. I saw an abundance as I rode from one sports venue to the next on practice and game days. Not every one of our teams this fall had a winning record. There were some varsity teams that knew their season would be a struggle as early as October 1. It is these teams that had to work just as hard as those with more success in order to make their seasons a memorable experience for all. And you did this. Our school theme this year is Habits of Humility. And any athlete's experience on teams has to be closely connected to this concept for there to be a worthwhile experience. I recently came across an article written by a professional soccer player in Europe, this guy named Malcolm Shaw, and it's entitled Humility in Sports. Now, Mr. Shaw starts the article by stating, humility is one of the most respectable and admirable traits that an athlete can possess. The prime essence of a humble athlete is the act of selflessness and modesty, which transcends to the community. I was drawn to this article because of this statement. Again, the prime essence of a humble athlete is the act of selflessness and modesty, which transcends to the community. Think about that for a moment. You know at Deerfield we try to have everything be connected and have purpose. I began to think that maybe the reason why I felt this positive vibe throughout the fall season from the majority of our teams could be attributed to this. More of you are buying into being better teammates, being more selfless, and making contributions to your teams in ways you didn't expect to when your seasons began. I want to keep this going this winter with our teams. Now, going back to Malcolm Shaw's article, he outlines 4 ways humility can make us all better athletes, better coaches, better teammates, and best of all, better friends. Point 1 is modesty. This is about character cultivation. Shaw gives an exercise you can do to measure where you are on this point. Keep track of how many times you think about yourself and your needs and compare that to the number of times you act and think on ways to help your teammates. And you can do this for about a week and let the results help shift maybe what type of teammate you want to become. Point number 2 is leading by example. Being the hardest and most consistent worker or someone who helps others when they don't think anyone is watching are qualities that help ensure positive team culture here. Leading by example is one of the best ways to lift others. And that brings me to point 3, is lifting others around you. Go out of your way to compliment others and show others you are watching and that you care. Be that person to diffuse blame and share those responsibilities. And point 4, the last point, is to be coachable. Being a coachable athlete or student reflects a humble heart. Regardless of your talents, everyone needs to embrace being coached and mentored to reach their full potential. So congratulations to all our fall teams. I would say football, field hockey, and volleyball led the way with their great seasons, earning postseason tournament berths this year. Every team had moments of growth, overcame adversity, and had to regroup for that Monday or Thursday practice. So many of you grew as teammates, as people willing to think beyond themselves. And our community benefits from every instance when this occurs. I want to thank you all for representing Deerfield so well. Were we perfect this fall? No. But we learned and got better at the things that make programs successful. For you winter teams, let's remember Mr. Shah's thoughts and put them to good work with your teams and build off the momentum we've experienced this fall. Thanks for a great fall. Thank you, coaches and athletic staff, for paying attention to the small details that matter so much. I can't wait to see what we accomplish this winter. Go Big Green.
We are the A! We are the A! We are the A! Oh, Deerfield, go onward marching, royalty win or lose, and though the odds may be great, we'll fight for it.
I want to thank the communications office for helping put this thing together, and Carly, our SID. Some really good, talented people here, so that was a great job. All right, on to JV Sports and Third Sports Awards. First up, you're just going to stand up, come across the stage, shake Dr. Austin's hand, and take a picture, and go back to your seat. Okay? Starting off with JV Field Hockey. Our most improved player, Gabriella Hu. JV Field Hockey again, most valuable player, Emma Jaskolski. Thirds field hockey, our most improved player, Ashley Laboucherie. Okay. We'll hold that one. JV football, most valuable player, Bryce Pang. JV girls soccer has two most improved players, Greer Anderson and Sarah Ito Bagshaw. Girls third soccer has two most valuable players, Amelia Tyler and Valentina Williamson. Boys JV soccer, most improved player goes to Ben King. And the boys JV soccer, most valuable player, Jack O'Neill. Boys Junior A soccer, most valuable player, Alex Strait. Boys Junior B soccer, the quad squad, most improved player, Tyshawn Price. And the most valuable player for this team was Jack Chorsky. Not here. Okay. JV volleyball, most improved player goes to Megan In. And most valuable player for this team is Elena Liu. Girls thirds volleyball, most improved player, Mia Calcagno. And this team's most valuable player, Lily Lynn. And JV water polo, most determined player goes to Wyatt Brown. Okay. All right. Now for this fall's top 10. Anybody? All right. Here we go. 2019 will be a year we remember, one for the books. We took it all from Choate, and they left here calling us crooks. But before we speak more on that, let's mention instead we had a great fall, partly because we have a new head. We've introduced him to Deerfield sports and what it means to bleed green. Let's keep this going. Let no school intervene. So on to the countdown. I'll bet you can't wait. Don't think too hard. Don't jinx your own fate. We'll start the countdown by recalling Dr. Austin's chant. Twice we saw him on a VICTORY rant. I promise not to ask you to do that now and here, but already we can't wait to hear you again next year. At 9, I've decided to give this to a manager who made a big difference. She has reset the bar and made this role gain significance. Emma Kimball should now stand up and be recognized. You've been the best ever as voted by our football coaches and guys. At number 8, I reserved a spot for all those teams on big rivalry days. St. Paul's, Loomis, Exeter, and Andover all came and were defeated by your plays. From Quad Squad to all our junior varsity teams each week, you made the school proud with your action and not having to speak. To all the PGs sprinkled across our teams this fall, you've outdone yourselves with class and helped everyone stand tall. You've come in at number 7, but there is one of you who gets a little more of my vote. Brendan Kish from Guilford, Connecticut. We're glad you're here now and not at Choate. I've said this before, and I know it to be true. There are some people in this world you nickname the glue. Without these 3 characters, we'd all be in a fix. Kathy, Norm, and Bernie get my vote at number 6. Two teams secured their place coming in at number 5. The junior varsity football and quad squad soccer kept their undefeated seasons alive. Spot number 4 goes to the team that's always a contender. If you look at their lineup, you'll notice there isn't one pretender. They are an athletic group that earns their way to the postseason year after year. Field hockey has established themselves as a top program, and that's clear. At number 3, all our alumni will agree, Choate Day was ours, winning 10 games to only losing 3. You all made this day great, either with your play or your cheer. All of Deerfield came together that day, both far and near. Volleyball earns us 2 spot for having a breakout year. This team was fun to watch, with the sets and the spikes producing fear. They came together as a team and learned to play for one another. And when this happened, this team was one tough mother. This fall's top spot should come as no surprise to us. Their Choate win and bowl victories has to give way to cause a fuss. What pleases me most about the successes they've had this year, they met some big obstacles around which they had to steer. They believed in each other, had fun, and learned from one another along the way. That is why Deerfield football is now here to stay. Congratulations to all for this wonderful fall. Remember the lessons we've learned along the way. Pay attention to the little things, and this will improve your play. Congratulations. Okay. Now to the Fall Varsity Awards. We'll start with boys cross country. The Morrow C. Hunt Trophy. This runner was tireless in his dedication to training this fall in cross country. He carried his commitment to training from the summer straight into the fall and never missed a workout. He devoted himself to being the best he could be and raised his teammates up to his standards of competitiveness and enthusiasm for running. This year's Hunt Trophy Award goes to Thomas Lyons. The Peter Brush Award. This senior runner led the cross-country team this year with a balance of quiet grace and fiery rhetoric. He was a friend and inspiration to members of the team at the top of the ladder and those JV runners just figuring out the sport. His commitment and steady leadership will be missed. The Peter Brush Award goes to Jake Meyer. Moving on to girls cross country. The Morrow C. Hunt Award. This 4-year senior was a great captain of cross country this year, putting in great effort in each practice and attending to the needs of teammates every step of the way. She never sought personal accolades, instead doing whatever was necessary to keep the team functioning as best it could. At season end, she raced through a painful injury to ensure that the team had its best finish possible, a telling finish to her career running for Deerfield. This year's Hunt Trophy Award is going to Erin Howe. Gotta like that kid. Easily, the Peter Brush Award for girls cross country. Easily the girls team's most positive and vocal member. It was impossible to be a part of girls cross country without catching some of her good humor and enthusiasm for the sport. She met every challenge with excitement and positivity, and all her teammates benefited as a result. She was the heart and soul of our team this fall. Congratulations to this year's Peter Brush Award winner, Jean Jin. Varsity field hockey, the Deerfield Field Hockey Cup. She came to Deerfield from Zimbabwe as a new junior and suffered a brutal ACL injury on day 2 of preseason last year. She was sidelined for the duration of the fall and spent most of the year rehabbing her injury, but she maintained a terrific attitude and attended as many games and practices as she could. Once she was healthy, she worked hard to regain her strength and speed and returned to the turf this fall in top shape. She had a terrific season, and other coaches and teams were always in awe of her speed, her skill, and rocket of a shot. Moreover, she earned all NEPSAC honors at the conclusion of the season. Muffy is an amazing player, an even better person, and incredibly deserving of the Deerfield Field Hockey Cup. This year's Field Hockey Cup award goes to Muffy Mazambani. Varsity football, the Thomas Williams Ashley Memorial Award. A 3-year varsity starter, impact player, loyal teammate. This young man led the team with his effort, determination, intellect, and passion for the game every opportunity he had on the field. He fostered a winning culture with his teammates and earned the respect of both his teammates and the opponents in every contest. He anchored an offensive line that produced a top offensive attack, where under his leadership, the line gave up a league-low 4 sacks over 10 games and created holes for a dominant running attack. Will Savage has made an enormous contribution with his huge heart and unwavering commitment to DA football program. Will finished his Deerfield football career with a 20-8 record, a bowl win, and a victory over Choate. Will Savage is this year's deserving recipient of the Thomas Williams Ashley Memorial Award. The Frank Housekey Award. From the moment that this individual put on the green and white, he has demonstrated his high character and leadership through endless efforts of gritty performances. It was very impressive to see a PG who was named captain after preseason continue to elevate his play throughout the season. He was the leading tackler for our defense that allowed the lowest point total in New England by giving up a stingy 10.6 points per game. He was at his best when we needed him the most and will forever be remembered for making 2 of the final 4 tackles on the goal line stand to defeat Choate. He plays for his teammates, and his effort inspires others to give more of themselves. He played with passion and never stopped competing to his best ability. We are proud to present the Frank Housekey Award to Caleb Newman. Boys varsity soccer, the Holbrook Ellis Cup. From the moment he stepped foot on campus, this athlete was a leader for the boys varsity soccer team. He brought a level of skill and dedication to the team that set a new standard. Over the course of the season, he emerged as perhaps the best goaltender in New England. His game day performances never ceased to amaze teammates and opponents alike. It was not surprising then that he was named to the All-NEPSAC team and also earned the Most Valuable Player award for this Deerfield boys varsity soccer team. Congratulations to Ben Diffley, this year's Holbrook Ellis Cup recipient. Girls varsity soccer. There are 2 winners of the Marjorie Ellis Cup award this year. The first is a 4-year member of the girls varsity soccer team who is a fierce competitor, always wanting to be on the field, making an impact on the game and helping her teammates at all times. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She leads by example, always supporting her teammates while challenging herself and those around her to raise the bar. She is selfless and versatile, illustrated best by the fact that she has played most, if not all, positions of the field during her career for Big Green. Although sidelined due to an injury during her senior campaign, this player showed her resilience and commitment to her teammates, investing in her recovery to earn her way back to the field for the team's final game of the season. For her efforts on the field this fall, Annabelle was voted a Western New England Girls Soccer All-Star. Congratulations to Annabelle Gerber. The second award recipient is a consummate leader by example. She is a tireless worker with an ever-positive attitude and unwavering spirit. Whether it was in practice or in a game, you knew that this player gave it her all. She is a model for leaving it all on the field. She is greatly respected by her teammates and opponents, coachable, and constantly seeks to do the right things to perfection day in and day out. Her vision on the field, coupled with her technical abilities and team-first mentality, found her leading the team in assists and helping to create goal-scoring opportunities for her teammates throughout her career and her senior season. At the end of the season, Annie was named a Western New England Girls Soccer All-Star for her impact on the field. Congratulations to Annie Kane. Boys varsity water polo. This recipient is not here today. Carter Weymouth. Carter has always held his head high and led with resilience in the face of adversity. In words and deeds, he encouraged his younger teammates to believe their efforts will be rewarded in better days to come. Carter has exemplified those words of habits of humility in helping to lead this year's water polo team. Carter is away from campus today, but let's give him a well-deserved round of applause for being a great teammate. And last but not least, girls volleyball. The Coaches Award. This player was one of our strongest and most consistent players. She stepped into a real leadership role this year, serving as a go-to hitting option from the front row and playing strong defense when she was in the back row. As one of the captains, she made sure everyone felt included and supported throughout the season. She has been a wonderful teammate, and we will miss her on the court next year. This year's Volleyball Coaches Award goes to Camila Navarro de la Vega. Congratulations to all our fall teams. I do want to remind award winners, including the sub-varsity award winners, to please come up on stage for a group photo. And now Dr. Austin will dismiss the groups.